So it is your very first day as a project manager. What should you be focusing on? Let's get into it. Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. I'm Christina and this is Cultivated Chrissy. Now, it has definitely been a while, but we are back and today we have an exciting and necessary topic to discuss. We are going to be talking about your very first day as a project manager. If you just got hired, congratulations. Today, I'm going to be giving you some tips about what you should be focusing on your first day that is really going to set you up for success. So grab a notepad and let's get started. Now, before we dive into the specifics, you've just been given the role as a project manager, and your primary responsibility is going to be to make sure that you execute your project successfully. And in order to do that, you have to build a strong foundation at this new organization. And so we're going to jump into some tips on how to build that strong foundation. The very first step is to get to know the key players. Now, this is vital and very important for you building that strong foundation that we talked about. You want to get to know other project managers, other people on your team, representatives from different departments, IT, operations, HR. These are different people that you're going to be interacting with on your projects. And so you want to make sure that you start to interact with these people. If you're in the office, then you want to walk around, show people your face, say hello, let them know you're the new PM, ask them what their role is, and then ask them if you can have 15 to 20 minutes of their time in the near future so that you guys can sit down and talk more about what their role is, what you'll be doing at the organization, and how they can collaborate, or how you guys can collaborate together in the future. So you want to do that, and you can do the same thing on Teams if you're remote, but again, this is a vital first step. Get to know people at your organization, talk to them. They'll give you some really, good insight that you may not get, from talking to your supervisor. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that. So I'm interrupting this video because I have some very exciting news. This is actually very highly anticipated. I have received numerous DMs, numerous emails about coaching sessions and resume reviews. So I'm actually going to be dropping those services on my website. Make sure you guys click the link down below. You can schedule some time with me as a PM coaching session, and we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about for project management and your career. You'll just schedule that time with me and we can talk through it. And then the resume review sessions, you guys will send me your resume ahead of time. I'll review it, add some suggestions for you, and then we can review it during the resume review session. So we'll have both services being offered just as you guys requested. So make sure you guys click the link down below and schedule that time with me. Now, the second thing that is extremely important and will help you to build that strong foundation is to make sure that you get to know the business. What is the key services that this organization provides? What are their mission, vision, values? What does this organization do? You really need to understand that at its core as a project manager, because you're going to be doing projects that speak to these services, that deliver these services, and you need to understand what the business is, right? Again, this is a foundational element. You can do this, of course, by looking at standard operating procedures, process maps. Your supervisor may give you a ton of documentation to look at. If they don't, make sure you ask for that. But you need to look at documentation, their website. You need to look at things that tell you what the service is and help you to understand the business at its core. That's going to be important, because if you're delivering projects and you don't understand the business, then you're not going to be able to properly convey things to your team. You're going to be delivering a project that you don't understand. So that's a foundational element. You want to make sure that you understand the business. So number 3 is understanding the PMO structure. So if you have a project management office or project management department at your organization, you need to understand how that is structured. What are going to be the expectations from you? What tools and software are you going to be expected to use? You want to familiarize yourself with that on day one. Make sure you have access to everything. How are you going to be expected to execute the projects? What systems are you going to need to be able to use? What framework is being used at this organization? Is it mostly waterfall? Are you doing agile projects? What is the expectation? You're going to need to understand that. When it comes to reporting, you're going to need to understand what types of reports are going to be used. What is the expectation for how often those things are, used and looked at? All of that should be outlined. There should be a standard operating procedure for the PMO itself. Of course, you want to sit down with your supervisor if there's something you don't understand and clarify that. But there should be a standard operating procedure. You want to look through that thoroughly, make sure you have access to everything that's outlined, familiarize yourself with it, and that again will help you in executing your projects. It will set you up for success. Now, if you don't have a PMO, then you're going to be the person, if there is no other project managers, right? Then you're going to be the person to have to build out some of these standards. So you want to try to figure out in your own mind what templates you're going to be using to execute your projects. What are you going to be using to report all of that? What software are you going to use to write your plans and things like that? You want to make sure you kind of outline that for yourself, right? It's, you know, similar to building out a project management plan. You want to build that out for yourself so you know how you're going to execute projects, and then other people can be aware of that as well. But standard project management procedures is the key here. You want to make sure that you understand that, whether you have to make it or whether it already exists at your organization. Now, number 4, you want to meet with your supervisor. Now, this is extremely important because you need to know what their expectations of you are. What does that first 30, 60, 90 days look like? Especially because a lot of organizations have 30, 60, 90-day reviews. And so when 30 days comes, what do they expect that you would have accomplished by that point? You want to make sure those expectations are clear, they are documented, and you know what you should be doing moving forward. During this time, your supervisor may also give you some insight on what projects you will be doing. They may even give you your first project assignment. So you want to make sure you get some background information on that. Ask them there about some of the stakeholders that you should be interacting with so that you can collect some information about your projects. But this is a good place to gather information, again, about expectations, about the projects you'll be doing, about stakeholders you'll be interacting with. It's a great first meeting to have, and you want to make sure you have that on day 1. So make sure you set up that time. If it doesn't already exist, you reach out to your supervisor and make sure you get some time on their calendar to set those expectations up front. We do not want any surprises come 30 days, okay? You want to know what you should be focusing on during that time. So make sure you meet with your supervisor. Piggybacking off of step 4, you might have gotten your first project assignment in the first day or at least the first week. So what should you be doing if you got your first project assignment? Number 1, like I said in step 4, is make sure you ask about who those key stakeholders are in that project. Who does this project impact? Who are the decision makers? Whose problem is this that this project is trying to solve? You want to try to gather that list of stakeholders and start to meet with them, start to collect some information, right? As project managers, we are planners. We don't just jump into implementation. So you want to make sure that you start to meet with people, start to gain that insight, start to document things. You'll even collect some types of requirements during this time, but make sure that you are meeting with people, documenting things, and getting that background information. Once you do this, then you can start to develop the project charter. You're going to meet with your project sponsor, some of those key decision makers, and you're going to start to develop the project charter for this. And then after you do that and that's signed off and solidified, I have a video all about the project charter. I will link it in the cards and down below. But that is going to be kind of the main first step that needs to happen. You're going to talk to people and you're going to start to put that project charter together. So you're documenting the project parameters, the expectations, timeline, all of that right up front. And that will take you into your project kickoff. And I'm going to have a video about the project kickoff meeting coming up soon. So make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned for that. But that is going to be the next step. So as you can see, day 1 is a day of networking. It's a day of reading and understanding. It's a day to really set you up for success. You want to make sure you have access to everything that you need. You understand expectations. Those things are clearly laid out and documented for you. So you have a plan moving forward into this position so that you can be successful. That really is what day 1 is about. And that goes even beyond day 1. Okay. So make sure that those are things that you're continuing to do and you're growing stronger in. And again, that will help you to build a strong foundation so that you can be the best project manager that you can be. Okay. So that is today's video. I really hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, make sure you like the video, comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe for more videos like this. Okay. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.